Shalom. First and foremost, want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS that were well. Peace, love, and salutations to all the brothers out there pushing this word of sincerity and the truth. Shalom to the brothers, sisters, and children out there keeping this word of sincerity and the truth. Okay, I just wanted to go into this lesson. I was listening to this, this video, which more and more, and I know a big part of it is the algorithm of YouTube, these social media platforms. Something you click on, they start to show you more of that, or more of those content or videos or information. Your phone listens to you too. Different stuff like that. It try to show you more whatever it's picking up from whatever you're listening to or whatever the case may be. But more and more of these type of videos are coming out about women learning the hard way. Like the title say, learn the hard way that men quit the dating circus, or men are not taking them seriously anymore. Men are now realigning with themselves and focusing more on themselves. And as I keep saying, it's not even just the Israelite man. It's really all men over here in Babylon the Great. Or a lot of men. I ain't gonna say all, but a lot of men of all nations. The Edomite man as well. Which that's how we know the times we living in. This man is losing his power. Because here it is. We in his kingdom. We in his heaven. He's in his heaven. I say we in our hell. But he's in his heaven, and everything is in his favor, and yet he's finding trouble with day-to-day life. They're finding trouble with day-to-day life, having to try to support themselves. If they have a family, trying to support the family financially. And if they don't have a family or they're young, trying to find a suitable woman to be a wife. Women trying to find a suitable man to be a husband. And they can't find it. And this is their kingdom. This is their heaven. Everything was catered and set up for them to prosper and to thrive. Now they're finding life hard. And this is how we know that we're in a shift. But even going back towards the Israelite man, and I would say we, because I'm including myself too, have now learned through the labors of first and foremost, our elders, the elders of GMS, and even their elders, on down to brothers that we listen and learn from, into the Lord allowed us to deal with our own personal experiences. We have learned to realign to our purpose. And our purpose as Israelite men is to serve Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah. Us men, we chasing Yahweh Shah. He is our head. He is who is above. We serve him. So that's who we chasing. That's who we follow. And we understand the order now. Women are supposed to do the same for us. So the mass majority of these women, a good 90% of these women, and probably even higher than that, don't understand that order. And they don't have the necessary skills or capabilities to do that, to serve a man, to understand that they are under the man. So a lot of them are out here single, both young and especially older. And everybody used the number 30 plus, but it's even, younger than that in most cases. But I was listening to this video and listening to this woman right here in particular, and she said something that made me think about the scriptures, which I'm going to bring it out. And I'm going to just let her say it, So, Lord will, it's an edifying lesson. I'm going to say fair use, fair use, fair use. I'm not using this video to make any money. This is strictly for educational purposes. So, if the original person who done this video watches this, it's not for any type of money or anything. Straight fair use, fair use. It's strictly educational. Lord will, you edified.
You plan on moving to ATL, make sure you bring your own man with you. For any woman that likes men, make sure you bring your own man with you. I'm letting you know that in Atlanta, the men is scarce. So if you come here, you think you're looking for a relationship, this is not the place to come to. I'm letting you know this. This is Black Hollywood. Most men are into themselves. Okay? Everybody thinks they're a celebrity. Everybody. 95% of the men are gay. And 50% of those are married. And the other ones, the rest that's left, they know that it's 30 women to every one man. So they use that to their advantage. And the women that do have men, they're so territorial over those men that if you even, hey, speak back to them, they are ready to, I'm talking about, charge at you. Like, it's crazy up here. And the people that's from Atlanta will say, oh, no, well, that's not true. I'm telling you, I've been here for 3 years. Atlanta is the one place that you'll come and you'll find a whole slew of successful, beautiful Black women that's single, millionaires, got money, beautiful, businesses, single. You know why? There are no men here in Atlanta for the women.
All right. And the whole time she was speaking, all I can think about was Isaiah 4:1. And not even just Isaiah 4:1, but the many different translations of Isaiah 4:1, which I'm going to get that, different translations for Isaiah 4:1. So she started off with saying, if you come to Atlanta, bring your own men, because a mass majority of them are, they go the same way. And that's the mass majority of men, not even just in Atlanta, but in most in a lot of these states. It's not even just that. And she's talking about the Israelite man. She ain't talking about just the other nations. She's talking about the Israelite men. And as a matter of fact, before I get that, let me get 2nd Esdras 16. Let's see. This is 2nd Esdras chapter 16. I'm going to start at verse 33. It says, the virgin shall mourn, having no bridegrooms. The women shall mourn, having no husbands. The daughters shall mourn, having no helpers. In the war shall their bridegrooms be destroyed, and their husbands shall perish of famine. Right. So, and this is the times we're getting ready to come up on. These women are already mourning because they're not in a relationship. They're not where they want to be. These women, like she said, these are career women who focused on their careers, and now they realizing that they don't have no men, they don't have no family, and they missed out on some of the best years of their life to actually get those things established. And these women were brought up to think that establishing themselves and making a career for themselves was the way to go. And now their true purpose is calling. Now they're tuned into their true purpose, and they're realizing that don't nobody want them. No matter how good they try to look or whatever the case may be, ain't nobody finna take them seriously because they missed out on the years where they were supposed to. And now that we living in the times that we living in with wars, rumors of wars, and judgments is happening to the nation of Israel, the Jacob's trouble is on this way. Now they're really finna experience life in a way that's never been experienced before by no human, by nobody. Jacob's trouble, Because like I said, it's a time like never before. So if they mourning about not having no husbands, then they most definitely will be mourning. If they mourn about not having no husbands now and not having a family now, they're definitely going to be mourning about not having a spouse for the times to come. And the only men that's going to be around are the men of the elect, and these other men whom the Lord is still going to judge. But them men ain't going to be capable of taking care of a woman or being under the rule of a woman. Being under the rule of a man. They're not going to, let me restate it. They're not going to be in the mindset to be able to maneuver through the things that the judgments the Lord got coming to the earth, because the Lord ain't with them. Now, this is Isaiah 4:1, and I'm going to just go ahead and pull up the Bible comparisons. Because like she said, the women, a lot of those men, they go the same way, or a lot of those other men, they don't want them, and a few men that are available, she said that they know it's like 30 women to one man. The odds are in their favor. And guess what? That's going to be for the Israelite men of the elect. It's Isaiah 4:1 in the KJV. And in that day, 7 women should take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach. Right now, remember one thing that she also said was these are career women. You know, she said millionaires or just women that got their own. They can, they buy their own clothes and food and different stuff like that. As the scriptures say, some of these women are taking care of themselves. They're not complaining about not being able to take care of themselves or complaining about not having enough of this and enough of that to survive. They're complaining about not having a family, not having a husband. That's their main complaint. So we see more and more of how this scripture or these scriptures are starting to manifest in a way to where these women are going to actually pursue this scripture and make it come to pass in full force. Now I'm going to get the NLT. It says, in that day, so few men will be left that 7 women will fight for each man, saying, let us all marry you. We'll provide our own food and clothing. Only let us take your names so we won't be mocked as old maids. Right. And another thing, a lot of these women are between the ages of 20 and like 40. Women that's making these videos about not having a husband, not having children, or not having a family, and feeling like they missed their opportunity to do it. These are women between the ages of 20 and 40. And the elder Apostle Kabar just did a video this morning going into the a woman's prime. A woman's prime he said, is between the ages of 12 and 14 when she have her menstrual cycle. That's when she's able to start bearing children. That's when she's able to be married off. But even in today's time, the ages between 20 and 40, that's the women that's complaining, mocked as old maids, not having a husband, not being married, not having a man. And that's really an embarrassment. And that spirit is coming back into the earth, because even in the ancient world, a woman that didn't have a husband, she was outside of her purpose. And that unless her husband died or something like that. But a woman that didn't have a husband, she didn't have children, she was mocked. That wasn't look good, Oh, I'm already in there. Let's see. I know what I'm looking for, but I cannot remember. I need to remember at least one word. Let's see. I can't remember exactly where it's at. It's going into that account where Israel, he basically had made a vow to the Lord if he let him kill his enemies. The first person that greets him when he comes back, they would be a sacrifice. And it wound up being his daughter. And I can't remember exactly where it's at. Let's see. I'm trying to remember exactly how it was worded. Okay, here we are. In the book of Judges, chapter 11. All right, so this is Judges 11. I'm starting at verse 29. I'm reading the AMP. So then the Spirit of the Lord came into Jephthah, and he passed through Gilead, and Manasseh, and Mizpah of Gilead. And from Mizpah of Gilead, he passed on to the Ammonites. Jephthah made a vow to the Lord and said, if you will indeed give the Ammonites into my hand, then whatever comes out of the doors of my house to meet me when I return in peace from the Ammonites, it shall be the Lord's, and I will offer it up as a burnt offering. Then Jephthah crossed over to the Ammonites to fight with them, and the Lord gave them into his hand. And from Aroer to the entrance of Menith, he struck them 20 cities, and as far as Abel Karith, Karam, brook by the vineyard, with a very great defeat. So the Ammonites were subdued and humbled before the Israelites. Then Jephthah came to the house of Mizpah, and this is what he saw. His daughter coming out to meet him with tabourines and with dancing. And she was his only child. Except for her, he had no son or daughter. And when he saw her, he tore his clothes in grief and said, alas, my daughter, you have brought me great distress, and you are the cause of my ruin, to me. For I have made a vow to the Lord, and I cannot break it. Right, so he said he made a vow. Open my mouth wide. The tragic outcome of Jephthah's vow reveals the folly and danger of making such a deal with the Most High, as though a mere human could really offer the Most High something of value as an incentive or a bribe for his help. Right. And that just goes to show you shouldn't be making foolish vows to Yahweh Shem Yahushua, because the Lord he'll really test you. And the Lord tested him. He said, oh, okay, you want my help to take down your enemies, and you telling me that you would give me something in exchange for that? Okay, let's see if you're gonna keep it. And she said to him, my father, you have made a vow to the Lord. Do to me as you have vowed, since the Lord has taken vengeance for you on your enemies, the Ammonites. And she said to her father, let this one thing be done for me. So he told her what it was. Let me alone for 2 months, so that I may go to the mountains and weep over my virginity, I and my companions. Right. Said an example, the tragedy that marriage and children would be denied to her. See, it was a very, very important thing for women to be married and bear children. That's a part of their purpose. That's what accomplishes a woman. The reason why these women feel so unaccomplished, even after they achieve all this success in the world, they get which Esau give it to them anyways. But they get this success in the world, they get these good paying jobs, they get this lifestyle to live where they can live in nice places, nice homes, this, that, and the third, and they don't feel accomplished. It's because they didn't do their purpose. And as Yahweh Shai even said in Matthew's chapter, I believe it's chapter 5, salt that has lost its savor, what is it good for if it's outside of its purpose? So an Israelite woman in this example, outside of her purpose, what is she good for? Your purpose was to serve the man, to bear children unto him, and help him forward a righteous legacy on earth. But here it is, you got these career women, who's not serving the man. They're serving their bosses, but they're not serving their purpose. They're not bearing children, and if they are, they're not with the man that they buried it with, and they didn't even plan on having a child. And then they're not helping nobody build an enterprise. They're building their own enterprise, so they're outside of their purpose. So that's why I said she wept over her virginity, because she mourned that in this lifetime that she was, and reincarnation was definitely a thing that people knew about. So she mourned that in this lifetime that she lived, she was not able to bear children. She was not able to get married. And I guarantee you that was something she was looking forward to. So you know how devastating it probably was to her that she had to die, you know, over a vow. Just imagine how bitter. I ain't gonna even just say, well, not bitter. You know how bitter it felt to hear that she would never be able to be married and have children and enjoy life and grow to see old age. You know, she didn't get to experience none of that. Verse 38, it says, and he said, go. So he sent her away for 2 months, and she left with her companions and wept over her virginity on the mountains. And at the end of 2 months, she returned to her father, who did to her as he vowed. And she had no relations with a man. It became a custom in Israel that the daughters of Israel went yearly to tell the story of the daughter of Jephthah, the Gileadite, for 4 days in the year. Right, so they made it. They made a custom of it, you know. Our people made a custom as a memorial unto her to remember, not only just to remember her and her virginity, but also as a reminder not to do something so foolishly, you know, not to do something so foolish. Just imagine how devastating it was for him. He had no heirs or no children to pass down anything that he accumulated. Because if he was going to war, you know, he had possessions. You know, he had possessions, had things under his care, and he had no one to pass that on to. You know, no direct lineage or at least son-in-law to pass it on to. So it was devastating for him, you know, his wife or wives, you know, whatever. It didn't go into the situation. And for the daughter. And he had to be the one to do it. Like it said, he said, and he did unto her, who did to her as he had vowed. So he had to sacrifice her. Just imagine the pain of having to, you know, sacrifice your own child because of something that you said. And when you think about it, he said he did it for the life of his enemies. I guarantee you he regretted it every single day. He regretted it every single day. When as soon as he seen his daughter come out, he regretted ever making that vow to the day he passed. So, going back to Isaiah 4 and getting it in a different translation. NLT again. In that day, so few men would be left that 7 women will fight for each man, saying, let us all marry you. We will provide our own food and clothing. Only let us take your name so we won't be mocked as old maids. So again, it's an embarrassment and it's a shame unto a woman to not be married and have children, not to bear children, because that's outside of their purpose. And like I said, even though so many distractions and so many things in this world, this modern world, like career life, nightlife, you know, or having a career, nightlife, all these different things that women can indulge themselves into, that spirit still comes upon them when it's behind the scenes, behind closed curtains, behind the doors. They contemplate on not having the things that they were designed to have, like a husband and being married and having children. They contemplate on all those things. They think about it. You know, it torments them because they're outside of their purpose. So, let's see. Which I'll read the AMP again. It says, and in that day, 7 women would take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own food and wear and provide our own clothes. Only let us be called by your name. Take away our shame of being unmarried. And there go that shame. It's a shame to be unmarried. It's a shame to be a woman without a man. That's a shame. Because I guarantee you, when like I use my own self, for example, when I'm around, you know, if I'm with someone, with a woman or whatever, and, you know, I'm just like, we go to the store and I'm, you know, normal. I'm being a man. I'm not being, you know, weak or nothing like that, like a lot of men do be, or being foolish, you know, actual masculine, being an actual masculine man. And I got my woman with me and, you know, she in her order, I'm in my order. And you see all these women without a man, they be looking. They definitely be looking. They'll be looking at you as a man, most definitely, because they're observing how the fact that she has you and wondering what about you got her in order. You know, what is it that you do that got her in order? And she be looking at the dynamic of an Israelite man, you know, so-called black man, but an Israelite man and an Israelite woman together, because now that's becoming more rare in order. An Israelite man and woman together in order. And anytime you see that anywhere, not even just with just using myself, but it could be an older couple, it could be even a younger couple if that man is, in his right mind and masculine. Women be looking and they be trying to observe and figure out why is it that y'all are together, and why is she under your order? If the man is in order and the woman is in order. And it'd be a shame unto them to not have that same situation. And that's why a lot of women, they be wanting married men too. Or men that other women want, they be wanting that too. They be wanting the same thing that the other women be getting. But it's a shame of them to be unmarried, to not have a man. So I think the rest of them say reproach. But I'm going to read this BBE. I should have read this in my last video. It says, and in that day, 7 women will put their hands on one man, saying, there will be no need for you to give us food or clothing. Only let us go under your name so that our shame may be taken away. I definitely should have read this one. I didn't even know it said it like that. There will be no need for you to give us food or clothing. You don't got to take care of us. You ain't got to do all that. I don't care about you trying to take my nails and get my nails did. I don't care about that. You ain't got to worry about getting my hair did. You ain't got to buy me these clothes. You ain't got to pay my bills. You ain't got to put food in my, because this is all the things that women say now. Oh, you got to pay my bills. You need to buy me this and buy me that. I need you to do this. It said in that day, they ain't going to be saying none of that. They want to be under your authority. They want to be under your rule. They want to be one of your wives and so that their shame will be taken away, so that they won't be out here unprotected, And that's going back into what that woman said. Like she said, the rest of the men, because she said a lot of men out there, into the same sex, whether they down low or not. And then the other men, she said, it's 30 women to one man. The odds are in their favor. They ain't got nothing to worry about. But see, she ain't in the mindset of Isaiah 4:1 yet. She ain't in that mindset. That's why she said, bring your own man. Because if she was in that mindset, she'd be like, look, women, y'all need to get in the mindset of sharing a man. And it's not even just sharing. You under his authority. You don't, sharing, but you under his authority. You need to get with the idea that your man is going to have other women. You ain't going to be the only one. Another thing she said was these women, they get territorial. They don't want no other woman. And that's not something that I personally do. If a woman try to get territorial with, over me or something like that for another woman, and I'm interested in her, even if I'm not interested in her, I can't deal with you. I'm not dealing with that. You ain't here to protect me. You here under my order. Yeah, us as men, we not getting territorial over Yahweh Shai and doing that. He protecting us. We can't protect him. We need him. We need him for protection. So women that do that, they are completely out of order. They are completely out of order. And it ain't a woman's job to tell another woman, oh, he taken. That's out of order. And that's not even in the scriptures, because a man can have multiple women. We're reading about it right now. So like I said, women that's unmarried, they know that, or they don't have a man, it's a shame to them. They don't feel accomplished. So yeah, the rest of them do say apparel, reproach. Okay. Let me see. It was something else I wanted to get. It was something else I wanted to get. I think. I can't remember. I'm trying to remember everything she said. But that's pretty much the point. I wanted to get just get to the point of her saying that you know, the men, talking about the men, is not really a lot of masculine straight men around, and then it's gonna get to the point to where it's not a lot of men around in general. And then, like she said, 30 women to one man. She don't even really, well, she might know, she might not know. Basically what she said was biblical. The 30 women to one man, similar to Isaiah 4:1, you know. But the whole territorial thing, that's not something that men gonna have to worry about, and that's not something women gonna do during that time. They ain't gonna be worried about what other woman is a part of under your rule in your enterprise. They just gonna be trying to make sure that they stay in it, they stay within that realm of your enterprise. Cause whatever protection you offer, they wanna stay within it, and stability that you offer, they're gonna want to stay within that. They don't want to, you know, because they already know what it's like to be on the outside, you know. They already know what it's like to be without a man and be without some stability. So they're not going to want to ever go back to that, especially when times get harder. They already experiencing it now. They experiencing it now, what it's like. So they're not going to want to go back to that. So they're going to be in order during that time, the women that's destined to be saved. But, you know, that's pretty much the point. Lord will was the edifying lesson. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, the GMS that were well. Peace, love, and salutation to all the brothers out there pushing this word of sincerity and the truth. Shalom to the brothers, sisters, and children out there keeping this word of sincerity and the truth. Until next time, shalom.